Okay, so get ready to step into a world where a conjuring trick, well, it just might be real magic. We're diving into G.K. Chesterton's magic, and let me tell you, this play, it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
Chesterton, he was a master at this, wasn't he? Creating these worlds where faith and doubt, they collide head on. And with magic, he throws in this incredible cast of characters. We've got a young woman who sees fairies, her very skeptical brother, a duke who just wants everyone to get along. It's like he set the stage for some serious fireworks.
Right. He's crafted this pressure cooker of belief and skepticism, all swirling around this central question: what if we can't just explain away the impossible?
It's a question that resonates even more today, I think. We live in a world that craves logic, scientific proof, and yet there's still this part of us deep down that yearns for something more, something beyond the realm of reason.
Absolutely. And Chesterton, he explores all of this through these vivid, unforgettable characters. Take Patricia, for instance. She sees fairies, like actually sees them, in a world that dismisses such things as childish fantasies.
And her brother Morris, he embodies that very dismissal. He's the pragmatic American businessman, all about logic and reason, demanding proof for everything. He's the voice of, well, let's call it modern skepticism, right?
You've got that right. And the clash between these two perspectives, Patricia's almost like Celtic Twilight worldview and Morris's staunch realism, that's a central tension that runs throughout the entire play.
Celtic's Twilight, it sounds so mysterious, so otherworldly.
It is. Think of it as this kind of artistic movement, popular in Chesterton's time, that really embraced the myths and legends of Ireland. You know, those tales filled with fairies and magic and things that go bump in the night. Patricia, with her fairy sightings, she embodies that sensibility, much to the, well, let's say, the doctor's dismay.
Ah, yes, the good doctor. A man of science, through and through. He represents that very human need to categorize, to explain, to impose order on a world that can often feel chaotic.
He clings to his logic like a lifeline, doesn't he?
He does. And his red lamp, that symbol we see throughout the play, it represents that beacon of rationality in a world that can often feel shrouded in darkness.
And you know, Chesterton, he loves to use those everyday objects to explore these bigger themes. Remember that scene where the doctor and the rector are debating the merits of, wait for it, a model public house? A tub. It's classic Chesterton, using something so ordinary to delve into these questions of morality and social responsibility.
And the rector, God bless him, he just wants everyone to enjoy a pint in peace. He sees the pub as this place for community, for shared enjoyment. The doctor, though, he sees chaos, a threat to his precious social order.
He's a bit uptight, isn't he?
Just a tad. But that's the beauty of Chesterton's characters. They're flawed, they're funny, but they're also deeply human.
And then, just as we're getting comfortable with these dynamics, Chesterton throws in, well, the Duke. And the Duke he's something else entirely.
He's like this lovable but utterly clueless aristocratic butterfly, flitting from one thing to the next, trying to connect the French Revolution to, well, everything.
His solution to every problem. Money, of course.
Always money. Whether it's his niece's fairy sightings or the militant vegetarians and their, shall we say, unique fundraising tactics, the Duke's answer is always the same. Throw money at it.
You have to wonder if he isn't just a little bit terrified of actually confronting anything difficult or uncomfortable. It's easier to write a check than to actually engage with the messy realities of life.
Oh, absolutely. He's a master of avoidance. But it's that very avoidance that leads him to invite the conjurer to his estate in the first place, isn't it?
It is. He's convinced that a good magic show will somehow satisfy everyone, the skeptics, the believers, the rational, those who are open to a little bit of magic in their lives.
Which, as the doctor so helpfully points out, is precisely the kind of muddled thinking that Duke is known for.
It's like Chesterton is setting us up to ask ourselves, can we really resolve these fundamental differences in worldview? Or are we destined to forever debate the merits of a model pub while the fairies dance just beyond our sight?
And that's where magic really starts to get interesting.
Ooh.
It's not about easy answers, but about asking the right questions, about forcing us to confront the limits of our own perceptions.
It really is. It's almost like Chesterton is saying, okay, get ready for a wild ride, because here comes Morris. You know, fresh off the boat from America, bursting with this energy, this skepticism, and boy, does he shake things up.
He really does. Morris, he's like a force of nature, isn't he? He barrels into the Duke's drawing room with this very American sense of pragmatism cutting right through the more whimsical aspects of the Duke's world.
You know, it's fascinating because on the one hand, Morris represents this very modern, almost scientific way of looking at the world. He
Yeah.
demands proof. He wants evidence. He's not going to be swayed by fairy tales or, well, magic shows for that matter.
Right. And he's immediately suspicious of the conjurer, isn't he? He sees him as this charlatan, this trickster, preying on people's gullibility, especially his sister, Patricia.
And you can't blame him, really, can you? I mean, Morris is coming from a world where everything has to have a logical explanation.
Exactly. He represents that side of us that wants to believe that everything can be explained, categorized, controlled, and magic throws a wrench into that whole worldview.
It certainly does. And remember how he reacts when he first meets the conjurer? He doesn't hold back, does he? Calls him a blamed tramp right to his face.
Oh, Morris. But that's the thing about him. He's so refreshingly straightforward. He doesn't mince words. He calls it as he sees it. And what he sees is a fraud, someone who's out to deceive and manipulate.
And yet there's this weird kind of almost like respect that develops between Morris and the conjurer. It's like they're both fascinated by each other, even though they're coming from completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
It's almost like a game of chess, isn't it? A battle of wits. Morris, determined to expose the conjurer's tricks, to shine the light of reason on what he perceives as darkness, and the conjurer almost playfully evading his grasp.
And it's in that charged atmosphere, with Morris challenging the conjurer at every turn, that something truly strange happens. Remember that red lamp in the doctor's window? That symbol of reason and order? Well, it suddenly goes out. And then, moments later, the conjurer he appears in the drawing room. No longer in disguise, there he is.
Chesterton. He's a master of suspense, isn't he? The way he uses light and shadow and timing to create this palpable sense of unease, of something uncanny happening right before our eyes.
It's brilliant. And that line, delivered so casually by the conjurer, no, I think it'll appear instead, chills every time. It's like he's announcing his power, his control over the very fabric of reality.
It's a direct challenge to Morris's worldview, to everything he holds dear. And we as the audience are left to grapple with the implications. What if our senses can't be trusted? What if the impossible is, in fact, possible?
What if? It's a question that hangs in the air as Act 1 comes to a close. But man, oh man, what a cliffhanger. Chesterton, he knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats. You'd think after that dramatic entrance, the Duke might, be a little bit shaken. But no, he just carries on like nothing out of the ordinary has happened.
Oh, the Duke. He's got this incredible ability to just, glide over the surface of things, doesn't he? Never one to let a little thing a possible magician in his midst disrupt his carefully constructed world.
It's almost as if he's afraid to look too closely, afraid of what he might see if he really allowed himself to believe.
Exactly. He'd much rather dissect the latest trends in conjuring as if it were a topic for polite dinner conversation.
And of course, his solution for pretty much everything rears its head again.
Yeah.
Money.
Always money. It's his answer to every problem, every mystery, every uncomfortable truth.
But while the Duke is busy trying to rationalize and categorize, there's this really interesting dynamic unfolding between Patricia and the conjurer.
She sees right through him, doesn't she? Patricia, with her fairy sightings and her openness to the unexplainable, she recognizes something in him, something beyond the tricks and the illusions.
It's like she senses the truth of who he is, the darkness he's grappling with, even before he himself is ready to face it.
And when he confesses his love for her, it's this incredibly vulnerable moment, because you realize he doesn't believe he's worthy of her.
He calls himself a blackguard.
A blackguard, someone tainted, unworthy. He's convinced that his dabbling in, let's call it the dark arts, has somehow sullied him beyond redemption.
And Patricia, bless her heart, she doesn't hesitate for a second. She sees the good in him, the potential for something more, and she loves him anyway.
It's a beautiful moment of grace, wouldn't you say? A reminder that sometimes love has the power to see past the facades we build around ourselves to the truth that lies within.
It's enough to make you believe in magic, isn't it?
Perhaps it is. But then, just when we're getting all swept up in the romance, Chesterton throws us another curveball. Morris, ever the pragmatist, stumbles upon the conjurer setting up his tricks.
And his world just, kind of crumbles, doesn't it? All those carefully constructed walls of logic and reason, they start to crack.
He rails against the wires and panels behind the miracles, desperate to cling to a rational explanation for what he's seen.
And then that's when the red lamp, the doctor's red lamp, the symbol of reason itself, it turns blue.
Blue. Imagine that in the context of a stage play. The sudden shift in color. it would have been electrifying for the audience.
Absolutely. And you can almost feel the tension in that room, the sense that something truly unexplainable has just occurred. Even Patricia, who sees fairies, even she's taken aback.
Because this isn't a fairy flitting across the lawn, this is something different, something that challenges the very foundation of their reality.
And it's fascinating to see how each character reacts. Morris, he becomes even more insistent on finding a logical explanation, a way to dismiss what he can't comprehend. The doctor, well, he's just baffled.
But Patricia, she accepts it. She doesn't need a scientific explanation because she understands on some level that there are forces at play in the world beyond our ability to fully understand.
And then the climax. The conjurer confesses. He tells them he used devils to achieve that final trick, that blue light.
And you can feel the weight of that confession, can't you? The sense that he's crossed the line, tapped into something dark and dangerous.
He's terrified by what he's unleashed, and yet there's also this sense of relief almost that he's finally told the truth.
But it's Patricia, once again, who offers a way forward. She refuses to believe in devils, not because she's naive, but because she chooses to believe in something better, something stronger.
And her final line, "It has come true." Oh, man, what a line. It's so simple, and yet it's so open to interpretation. What exactly has come true?
That's the beauty of Chesterton. He leaves us with that question hanging in the air, doesn't he? Is it the fairy tale that's come true? The love story? Or is it something even more profound, something about the nature of belief itself?
We're left to ponder these questions long after the curtain falls. It's what makes magic such a powerful, enduring work.
It's a play that stays with you, that challenges you to examine your own beliefs, your own understanding of the world.
And maybe, just maybe, it opens up the possibility that magic, real magic, might just exist if only we're willing to open our eyes to see it.